Today we are visiting the famous Venice, Italy, but we only have one day to see it all. So we've done some extensive research, we've planned our itinerary. We are gonna get up bright and early and see if we can do it all.
Here we go.
What?
It's not 8. Oh.
What?
Did we miss our train? Or is it still coming?
What time is it?
Uh-oh.
How is that possible? Literally, look at your phone. What time is it?
It's not time yet. 8:16. It's already gone.
What? What the frick? How are you supposed to make it on time when it leaves 3 minutes early?
Let's just take a different one, I guess.
I think so. Let's just get on the next one that says that it's going to, What the frick? I'm telling you, these freaking trains could not frick us around any more than they have. Oh my gosh. We went to platform 11, because that was the next one going where we're trying to go. Then it got moved to platform 9. I freaking swear if we don't get on this train, I'm gonna lose my mind. I just hope to God we don't get chewed out by some angry Italian man for being on the wrong train.
We made it on the train. Those doors only open for the minimum amount of time for everyone to get off and the new people to get on. So you do have to be quick. But just to clarify, for the first train, it just legitimately left 3 minutes early. So not our fault.
We are now arriving on time in Venezia Santa Lucia.
Okay, well thankfully we made it here without incident. I mean, mostly without incident. This is so cool.
Already, this is so freaking cool. Look at that. That's how everybody's getting around on the canal, and we'll be joining them in a moment. We bought our ferry tickets. Our plan, what we've read that you can do, is just get on the slow ferry from here at the start of the canal to St. Mark's Square, St. Mark's Basilica, at kind of the other end of the canal. And it's really like a canal cruise that we're planning to do. That's a great way to see all the sights. There are bridges. You don't have to take ferries everywhere you go. You don't have to take gondolas or anything like that. You can just walk from place to place using the bridges. But
Which we'll do on our way back later.
we'll do that on our way back. For now, it's canal cruise time.
Cruising down the Grand Canal of Venice really transports you into another time. While we floated along, we listened to another classic Rick Steves audio guide and learned about the historic center of this iconic city.
The water taxi. That was so cool. It seemed like an expensive public transit fare, but so worth it.
I mean, I think a whole cruise for just €9.50 is pretty good.
Venice was in its heyday in the 1100s to the 1400s, during which it was the richest city in the world. Venice was actually a republic, not a monarchy like many other European states at the time, and so they were open to trading with everyone, regardless of religion or nationality.
We have reached San Marco Square and the San Marco Basilica. It's behind me.
San Marco, or St. Mark's Square, is the heart of historic Venice. Everyone flocks here to see the beautiful St. Mark's Basilica and the Doge's Palace.
So we stood in line with a ton of other tourists to get into yet another beautiful old church. This might just be the longest line yet. Maybe we should have come earlier.
Okay, do you want to listen to it now?
St. Mark's Cathedral is actually pretty unique. While it is a Catholic cathedral, its architectural style is a bit more similar to Eastern Orthodox churches. The moody, gloomy interior paired with a high dome that lets light in from above is a typical Orthodox style. And I was blown away by the thousands of tiny tiles that adorned just about every surface. The eclectic mix of East and West is classic Venice. Since Venice was trading with all kinds of different cultures, they picked up their architectural style along the way. So throughout historic Venice, you can see the architectural styles of the Greek, Islamic, Roman, and some European Gothic style as well.
This is such a beautiful space. I am personally just obsessed with all of the tile work throughout. Like, it's so intricate and just beautiful. And you can just imagine how long this would take. We were listening to our Rick Steves audio tour, which we love to do. And he was talking about the ceiling, how it's all covered in mosaics. And he was comparing it to trying to pave a football field with contact lenses. That's like basically what they did by covering the ceiling with tiny little mosaic tiles. So it's just really, really impressive and a very different style and aesthetic than the other churches that we've been visiting, because it has a lot more sort of like Eastern influences. Like the way that it's designed is actually closer to like an Orthodox kind of style church than a typical like Catholic cathedral. So it's very cool.
Actually, one of the oldest churches still standing in Europe. It was built in the 11th century, and it's called St. Mark's Cathedral or St. Mark's Basilica because the remains of St. Mark are right at the front of the church at the altar. What I think is one of the coolest things is just the way the light streams in through the windows. All of the windows are near the top of the church, which really illuminates the gold, and just, I don't know, the way the light is filtered, you can really see it streaming through the windows, and it just bounces off that gold mosaic so beautifully. Honestly, it's a beautiful day here to be in Venice, and it's actually a bit of a privilege to be here because the city is disappearing / shrinking. That's happening in a few ways. First of all, at its height in the 1500s, this was a world-class city and the center of the Venetian world. But in modern times, the city's been shrinking. There's fewer and fewer residents each year, and it's really kind of becoming more like, I don't know, museum for tourists or like a Disney World of sorts. The other way that the city is disappearing is that water levels are rising. At certain times of year, the square we're standing in right now is underwater, sometimes up to 6 feet underwater. They're trying their best to combat that. The floor level of this square has been raised, and they're
shorted up a few times, I think.
And they're in the process of installing floodgates around the city. But even that could just be temporary measures if the
oceans keep rising. We are absolutely loving Venice so far. It is kind of hard to believe that we were in Rome just yesterday, and in fact we had an entire adventure in Florence between being in Rome and being in Venice today.
Here we are at the Duomo Church. Katie's being kind and taking a photo for a family behind me. This town of Florence is absolutely overrun by soccer fans. I guess there's a Scottish team that's playing a game here in Florence. The whole town is absolutely overrun, and it's just nuts with soccer fans.
Yeah, this is such a busy place.
But where are we now?
Okay, so we're here at the big cathedral in Florence, and it's most famous for Brunelleschi's dome, or the Duomo. This is a really big, impressive dome, and I think it was like the biggest dome in the world for a long time. And it's really busy here, so I don't think we're gonna go in because the line is super long and we don't have a ton of time here today, but it's very beautiful from the outside.
You know what to do. Where do we go from here?
We found Donatello.
Don't let it ruin you.
All right, let's go check out Ponte Vecchio. This really cool old bridge that has buildings and shopping on the bridge.
Can't afford a single thing on this bridge.
I think in my research I read that the bridge like historically had a lot of jewelry stores, and like it obviously still does now. Okay, so our last stop in Florence today is to check out this church, Santa Croce. This is where Galileo and Michelangelo are buried. It also sounds like the epicenter of an absolute riot. So let's go check it out. There are a ton of people.
I looked it up. If you're interested, the Scottish, I don't even know what they're called, Scotland Hearts team is playing against Florentina or Florence. It's some kind of Europa League tournament game. I don't know anything about soccer at home, let alone football out here. But like, this is crazy.
This is This is like scary. What the heck? So this seems to be like ground zero for the Scotland supporters, I guess. We just wanted to come see this old church, and there's like thousands of people standing around here.
We're here for Galileo and Michelangelo, and we've got the Scottish football team here instead.
Yeah, okay. Let's go this way. So I'm sure the church would be amazing, but it would cost us €8 each to go in, and we only really wanted to spend like 10 minutes in there because we got to keep heading onward to Venice. So we're just going to admire it from outside and get back to the car.
It's been a quick trip to Florence, but we rubbed the boar's nose, so we will be back at some point.
I hope so. It's a really cool city. I feel like there's so much more that we could see, so we're definitely gonna have to come back someday.
To be honest, I don't know. Had we known that there would be a major soccer game here,
Maybe we would have planned a different day.
Yeah, the city's kind of overrun, like seriously overrun. I don't know, the game hasn't started yet, so I think everyone's on a optimistic high at the moment. Maybe I should embrace it. Embrace the energy. Get one of these maroon jerseys and just party like the baddest of them.
I think we need to get to our Airbnb in Venice.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll do that instead.
Save your enthusiasm for the Leafs, because they're going to need it. So now we're slowly making our way back via bridges and walking the same way that we came on the boat earlier, and we are going for lunch, meeting up with some very special people that I'm super excited to meet in person for the first time.
I met Tanya through Instagram back in 2020, and we've been internet friends ever since. And it just so happened that we both ended up in Venice at the same time, so we met up to check out a local vegan restaurant.
That is really good. So everybody, meet Tanya and Adam from Jits Into the Sunset, aka one of my favorite van life channels to watch. What an amazing coincidence that we all happen to be in Venice at the same time.
It's always so amazing to meet online friends in real life, especially when you have so much in common. We chatted and wandered through Venice for the afternoon.
Gelato time.
It's always gelato time. When in doubt,
I don't even know how many times
stop
we've
for
had gelato on this trip, but this is probably number like 6 or 7.
Look, Tanya and Adam said that this was the place to be, so we can't say no to that.
We gotta get it.
We gotta get some gelato.
Medium cone and pistachio and the berry mix.
We got 4 people, 2 ice creams, at least 2 cameras out right now.
That was just such a lovely time. I have been internet friends with Tanya for like 2 years now, and it's just so amazing to meet up with your online friends in person, especially in such a beautiful place. It also just feels great to be with other YouTube-y people who get it. Like, it just is very affirming to hang out with folks who understand this like weird vlogging thing that we're doing. So that felt really great. Forget like how much you miss chatting with friends when you're like away traveling. So it's just really fun to meet up with some familiar faces and have a great time together.
Honestly, today has been such a good lesson in relaxation. We've just come from a few days of just absolute stress. Like, Rome was packed full of people and we were scootering around through the crowds, and Florence was beautiful but completely overrun with soccer fans. Like, what the heck? We had some stress this morning with the trains, but ever since we got onto the islands in Venice, it's just been really tranquil. I don't know if it's just our mindset or the time of year that we're here, or meeting up with Tanya and Adam, but it's just been a good reminder that if you're traveling, make space in your itinerary. Take a day to just do what it is you need to do to recharge your batteries and soak it all in.
I think we both really feel like we've had a good balance today of getting to see the sights that we wanted to see here in Venice, but also getting to wander away from the touristy areas a little bit more and see kind of the more local side of things, but also the more relaxed side of things. And it hasn't felt as rushed or busy as some of the other places where we've been. Also because I think we had a reasonable itinerary and also got to hang out with friends. So that just makes it feel good too.
I just think it's the exact like mood boost, mood chiller that we needed as we're heading into the second half of our time in Europe. I know we've only got 24 hours here in Venice, but I think we'll enjoy the time most if we just try to not worry about the itinerary, not worry about packing in absolutely everything, and just try to take in the local atmosphere a little bit more.
So that's how we spent our 24 hours in Venice. We didn't see absolutely everything, and we didn't check off every major tourist attraction, but we enjoyed ourselves, and as people who often pack our travel days way too full, I think it was the perfect 24 hours in Venice for us.
Thanks so much for joining us on our 24-hour adventure of Venice, Italy.
Subscribe if you want to see where we go next. Oh wait, let me just say.
There's a gondolier man yelling.
This is just the start of our European adventure, so if you want to know where we're going next, subscribe and follow along.
As always, we love you all, we miss you back home, and we will see you in the next video. Bye!